So what does Metallica do after they release their craziest album ever? Well, they lose to Jethro Tull, which I have a theory that that's one of the main reasons why they chose to change their sound, because they went all out on the last one and lost. So they're like, fuck this. We're just gonna make something that more people can like. And then sure enough, it becomes their first number one album, and it stayed there for like a month. And even fucking to this day, 30 years later, it still occasionally pops up in the fucking Billboard charts, because yeah, it's that popular. So there's a part of the fan base that say Metallica died after Justice, and then there's another part that say died after this one. Because while this one is a pretty drastic change from Justice, it still is at least a little heavy. It might not be fast, but it is heavy still. And after this, that's when it starts to get a little not as heavy. But that's for the future. Today we're talking the Black Album, the self-titled. First of all, the documentary Year and a Half of the Life of Metallica was, the first time we got to see them working on songs in the studio, which I think is a shame. I really can't believe that we never got to see anything from those first four. That documentary is really great. I think it highlights a few really great things. And number one, I don't feel like in the clip, but there's a scene where Lars is like working on something, and he's talking about how he's listening to a lot of takes, and he's taking the best fills and shit, and he's taking the best parts from all of them and putting into one. And I'm like, what happened to that guy? He actually used to work on his shit and try to figure out what's the best overall experience to play, and just to make it the best he possibly can. And I think after this, he just kind of was just like, first take, and that's it. I think that's why so much of his live playing is so different from the studio version, because he doesn't write any of it anymore. He just one takes it, improvises it, and then that's just the album version, and then that was it. But, okay, that's enough about that. This is still one of the best produced albums ever fucking written. I mean, there's so many videos of, people recreating the tones of, these first couple albums. And the first four, people can get it really spot on. But I've never heard anyone replicate the Black Album sound, because it is just on a whole nother level. Bob Rock just came in and made it the best fucking sounding album of all time. Still to this day, everyone's like, this is the best drum sound he has ever had. And yeah, seriously, it sounds amazing. I like this album. It sits right in the middle of the discography for me. A lot of songs I really do like, but then there's a couple songs where I'm just like, yeah, that's not great, or I'm sick of this fucking song, holy shit. But without further ado, let's dive into this album, because there are 12 songs to talk about, and this bottom one I don't like, but a lot of people love, because in bottom place is going to be Don't Tread on Me. And I think this song is just kind of lame. There's not really a single riff in this song that I even like. Intro's just kind of whatever, ba 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 bum bum. And then I guess the shuffly verse is kind of neat, but I don't really like the verse. Chorus is whatever. It's like this macho attitude, and I'm like, fuck that, dude. I don't care. I don't like this song. I would willingly never go out of my way to listen to this song again, if I'm being honest. But yeah, speaking of shit that I'm sick of, number 11 is going to be Enter Sandman. Now, while this is not the best songs, I don't think, this is just my favorite and how often I would listen to them. And Sandman is just, I'm done with it. I'm just sick of it. Yes, it's sweet to still go back to that fucking Moscow performance, the Monsters of Rock, and the amount of energy this song had at that time. It's great to see it. It's great that a lot of people who aren't into metal can still kind of like this song. I mean, it's a gateway song, but when you are super familiar with all of their songs, it's like, no, I'm never like, yeah, I want to listen to some Enter Sandman right now. Never happens. And equally overplayed, but not as much as Sad But True, which is number 10. And yeah, this is another one where I'm just like, meh. The verses are pretty decent. The chorus, I like the lead, whatever the lead guitar is doing, I think it's really sweet. But, and of course the bop, 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 that's just iconic as hell. But yeah, just another song that I'm pretty good on for the most part. And then next up is a song that is so goddamn unpopular that only one group covered it for the 50 artist cover of Black Album. And that's going to be The Struggle Within. Yeah, only one group, Rodrigo and Gabriela, were the only ones that even touched this song. And it's not a bad song by any means. It's just, out of all the ones on here, not super memorable. I mean, the riff is just it's like, okay, that's kind of lame. But the chorus, I guess, is pretty solid. It's just really like the verse, and it's just not that interesting to listen to. And a surprise to some up next, but it's going to be Unforgiven. Now, I love the intro. And this is probably also one of my favorite Kirk solos ever. But as far as the rest, I mean, the verse and the chorus, I don't know. I've just never found it that great. And hot take, this is probably my least favorite of the Unforgivens. So, oops, sorry. And from one clean song to another, next up is Nothing Else Matters, the one that everyone knows. Besides Sandman, this is the other most popular one, I think. And it's good. I mean, the acoustic riffs on it and everything are pretty cool. The ending solo, one of the few James solos. Chorus is good. I mean, it's well sung. It's a solid song, but I'm sorry. Everything else is just better, I think. And yeah, this is, I think, the first song where I like all the aspects on it. Those bottom 5, there's some parts on it I don't care for. But this is the first one where I like all this riffs and sections and shit. But sorry, there's just a lot of pretty solid songs on here. And a solid song on here is My Friend of Misery, which has one of the best intros. The chorus itself isn't like super great, but I do like the verses, and when they bring back the intro, like after, like in the middle section, that part is all fine and dandy. But yeah, it's really all about that section and the intro that really sticks out, and the ending solo stuff. I think the ending part is also pretty cool. And one of the absolute coolest songs on here, Of Wolf and Man. Man, that song just gets you pumped. The fucking intro is just super hard, slamming that shit. And the fucking verse riff is awesome. And the whole idea of the song, just like going into a werewolf, I think is really cool. We'll talk about this song again in the S&M video, but yeah. The whole bridge section 2, like I said earlier, the whole song is really great. But there's a lot of really great songs on here. And Of Wolf and Man is just a solid jam that it's just one of these primal headbanging songs. And the song they wanted to kick off the singles with Holier Than Thou, which, again, is a pretty solid-ass song. I love in the middle where the fucking guitar's cut out and it's just the bass. I think if they ever play that live, that could be a really fun crowd moment if they extended that a little bit. Just to, do whatever the shit they do live. That would be a really nice moment to do it. And yeah, man, I this is another one where the lyrics, I think, are pretty solid. Because, I'm sorry, but there's a lot of you motherfuckers out there who think you are holier than thou with like this whole music thing. I don't know how many sons of bitches come to me and say, oh, this is in your last place? You don't know anything about it. Shut the fuck up. Who the hell are you? Just like he says in the song, yeah, who the hell are you? Shut the fuck up. You ain't better than me. You ain't better than anyone just because you like something more than someone else. So yeah, love the message in this song. Kick-ass song. This is like Don't Tread on Me, but way the fuck better. And the bronze medal goes to the only movie they ever did with Through the Never. Now, man, that beginning riff and like the shit Lars does under it, really fun. The bridge, like whatever the tom thing is another really fun thing that he does, and like the bouncing on through the never shit. This is a fun ass song. Another song that I really like to play live occasionally, and yeah, it's just a fun ass riff followed by a fun ass bridge. It's a fun song, just like the number one song I have on here. Fun as fuck to play. And this next one, these two fought pretty hard because The God That Failed was at my number one spot because I really like the intro, and the verse and the chorus and the solo and the bridge and everything is just really great in the song. And of course, the lyrically behind the song is pretty sad. But yeah, as much as I love to listen to this song, there's one song that has been my second most played song by the band, because just like Through the Never, this number one is just a blast to play. Wherever I May Roam is one of these songs that I also memorized every fucking fill. I love how each one is different leading into the chorus. And that fucking main riff is so cool. And the chorus with Jason slapping that fucking crazy bass he does. Or the verse, that like cracky sound. I think that's fucking sweet. And the ending of the song and the solo, super cool. Man, I just really like to both play and listen to this song. It has it all. It has it all, which is why it etched above The God That Failed. Because I'm really never playing that song, but I do listen to it a lot. But Rome takes the cake for both sides. So yes, that'll do it for me this time. And as always, let me know how you'd rank the tracks. Let me know if you think Metallica died before or after this album. Because whatever your opinions on the Black Album are, I don't think anyone was ready for the load Metallica was about to drop on everyone in a couple of years. So, I'll see you next time for that one.